Warren Buffett is considered by some to be one of the top investors in the world, with a staggering net worth of over $128 billion. He is currently one of the top 10 richest people in the world. If you invested $1,000 into his company years ago, it would now be worth over $40 million, which is a staggering amount, which is almost a hard to believe growth. So I believe success leaves clues. So here in this video, we will discuss some of Buffett's top quotes and strategies for investing and building wealth and how we can apply those to our investment strategies. So that brings us to our first quote, and that is Warren's statement of rule number 1 is never lose money, and rule number 2 is never forget rule number 1. One may ask, well, how can I invest money and try to grow my investment portfolio without ever losing money? Whenever every investment involves some sort of risk or potential loss. And I believe this quote by Buffett suggests that we should take calculated risk, right? So everything that glitters isn't necessarily gold. So a lot of times people can get caught up on an emotional investment or maybe something that's trending, some type of trending investment. And I think we just have to make sure we understand the details of each investment and make sure you do your research and homework. Most people work really hard for their income, so we want to make sure we invest our money into places where we have good chances of not losing it. You know, we have to also keep in mind taking losses does come with the investment territory. We just have to make sure we learn from those losses when we do take them so that we aren't repeating the same losses. And we have those lessons from those losses moving forward. So that brings us to another Buffett quote, and it is, the best investment you can make is one of yourself. The more you earn, the more you learn. So Buffett has stated in many interviews that he reads 5 or 6 hours a day. So I think that's very critical information because, you know, he's already a billionaire. He doesn't have to read or study the market or study research. So I think from this quote, we can learn multiple things. And one of them is making sure you are a lifelong learner. So when you're driving maybe to and from work or working out or whatever that is, be listening to beneficial information that can help you learn whatever it is you need to learn and always just be improving what you're learning. That can be audible books, that can be podcasts, YouTube videos, however it is that you learn that's best for you. Everybody aren't like physical readers, and some people, like to me, I do a lot of audio books and stuff like that and podcasts. But you'll want to always be educating yourself, always be learning. The world moves at a very fast pace. You have to be learning what's going on in the world. You have to be learning how to grow, how to evolve, right? If you're not evolving with the times, you can get stuck in the past. Maybe something you were working last year, it may not be working the following year. So you have to be learning and always applying different knowledge to help you grow as a person. And also, I think we can apply that quote in another way, which is on the financial side. So if you look at the most successful people in the world, most of them all invest into themselves. They invest into their learning. They either have paid mentors or a coach, some type of mastermind or some type of group that they pay to be a part of, to where they can, you know, make sure they're investing into becoming a better version of themselves. You know, this is how you can make a great leap. If you find somebody who's already doing whatever you want to do in life and you can pay them and they've already been doing it for years or however much long, and you can learn directly from them, that is going to shorten your learning curve by far and help you get those results a lot faster than if you just try to learn on your own. Sometimes it looks like going to a conference, maybe 1 or 2 conferences a year. That's also a beneficial. When you get into the room with like-minded people who have that same growth mindset, goal-oriented mindset that you have, that is very phenomenal. The energy in the room is just contagious. The networking alone pays for itself. You may meet one person or hear one thing that can change your business, change your life, and make you have so many improvements. So even like I said, just the one networking that you can get at an event, that can pay for itself 10 times. So that takes us to the next quote by Buffett, and it is, someone is sitting in the shade today because of a tree that somebody planted a long time ago. And I love quotes about nature because I can always reflect on them anytime I'm outdoors in the elements. But essentially this means thinking long term. Maybe you're trying to build first generation wealth or money, and a lot of times that tree hasn't been planted for you. So you have to take it upon yourself to say, okay, what am I going to do to plant the tree for the future generations. You know, with that comes a lot of patience and sacrifice and building a foundation. So it's important to think about, just spending money on consumption and just being a consumer like most people do. Sometimes you have to sacrifice and say, okay, well, yeah, I need to put this money aside for investing so that I can, at a later point in life, that tree can be planted for me and also my family. So that takes us to another Buffett quote, which is, don't save what's left after spending, but rather spend what's left after saving. And I think that one's pretty self-explanatory. Most people, like we were just talking about with consuming, most people spend their money first, and then if they have anything left over, they will save. Whereas most of the top earners in the world, in the top 10%, they set aside a portion of money for investing and saving. So that reminds me of a financial report I seen one time, and it was talking about that 60% of Americans don't have $1,000 for an emergency. And that can be a very dangerous and stressful situation to be in. I think this quote just reminds us that we need to be constantly saving and investing. If we want to reach our goals, we want to start saving and investing as early as we can so that we can be more financially free at a later point in life. So the last Buffett quote on today's list is, if you can't learn to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. And I think this one is also pretty straightforward. We have to be working towards investing our money into passive income, residual income, or recurring income. Most people only have active income. So that means their income sources are directly related to the amount of time and hours they put into that source of income on a monthly basis. One of the main goals is, once you start making that active income, you have to start somewhere. With that active income, start allocating a portion of it towards passive investments where you can put your money into cash flowing assets like real estate or, ETF, stocks that pay dividends, different business ventures that you can just put the money into it, and you don't have to necessarily be putting those constant hours into it on a monthly basis, but you still can get paid when you're sleeping. You still can get paid while you're on vacation. Essentially, you need to diversify your income so that all your income isn't tied directly to the time that you have to put into it. So I hope you can use some of these Warren Buffett strategies and quotes to build your finances to where you want it to be. Comment below which of these quotes is your favorite quote or which one is most important to you. Subscribe to the channel for weekly videos. Watch the video on the screen because that's the one YouTube thinks you should watch next.